My name is Carl Murphy. I'm the President and CEO of FirstLight Federal Credit Union. I'd like to welcome our new employees to the organization. We're grateful that you've chosen to work at FirstLight. We appreciate you being here and your commitment. We want to make sure that you understand that we have a culture, and we hired you because you fit that culture. We also want you to understand we'd love to have you and keep you until you retire. We truly see it as an organization that's progressive, that grows, and that gives individuals within the organization the opportunity to grow and develop their own skill sets and to be part of a team. So thank you and welcome to FirstLight Federal Credit Union. Well, I've been working with the credit union since 1984. I started out as an accountant and shortly thereafter was made the manager of the accounting department and VP of accounting. Did that for many years. And in the early 90s, I had the opportunity to work as a chief financial officer as well as a chief operations officer for the credit union. I did that for several years, and then in 2003 I had the opportunity to become the CEO of the FirstLight Federal Credit Union. And so I appreciate the opportunities I've had to work here at the credit union. It's been a unique experience for me, but it's been a great experience I've enjoyed, and honestly the things I've enjoyed the most are working with members and working with our employees. FirstLight Federal Credit Union started in 1955. There were 9 airmen at the Biggs Airfield close to Fort Bliss who came together to pool assets together to create a cooperative and help fellow airmen, assist them in growing financially and assist them in meeting their loan and deposit needs. About 1959, there was a credit union that started on the Army base at Fort Bliss that was an Army credit union. Once again, started out with some soldiers that were wanting to see other soldiers benefit and grow, and so 2 credit unions existed, one on East Fort Bliss for the Air Force and one on Fort Bliss for the Army. The Air Force subsequently left the El Paso area, which meant that the Army took over Biggs Army Airfield. And then in 1966, there was a transition in that the 2 credit unions merged. The credit union changed its name to Fort Bliss Federal Credit Union. With the name of Fort Bliss, obviously people in Las Cruces and those not associated with Fort Bliss didn't understand that they were eligible for membership. We've actually been able to expand our membership in the late 90s to anybody who lives, works, or worships in the El Paso County in Texas or the Doña Ana County in New Mexico. In 2005, we changed our name to FirstLight Federal Credit Union. In the early 2000s, we had some challenges with service. We kind of regrouped as an organization, and our vision changed from just trying to grow the credit union to, in 2003, it was kind of 3-pronged. One was to be a trusted advisor for our members. We wanted our members to think of us first for their financial services. We recognize that we won't have all their loans and all their deposits and all their services, but we want to be considered first, and we want our members to think about us first before they think of other financial institutions. The second leg of that vision is to be an employer of choice. And what I mean by that is that we as an organization want people to be wanting to work here, not just as a job, but to understand the roles that they play and to understand how important they are in the credit union. One of the things we hear from our members quite often is that the reason they're here is because of our employees and because of what they do and the service they provide. And so as an organization, we would put up our employees to any other organization locally. I think we have that good of staff. In fact, we measure service in many ways to make sure we're providing high levels of service, and that's something we'll continue to do. The third leg of that vision is to be a community leader. And that community leader is not just a size, it's more importantly, it's to be involved in the community, to give back in the community, to give back to those that we serve. And we've done that very well. And so those are the 3 legs of our vision. We kind of created that vision in 2003 and have moved forward since then. We've had a dramatic impact on on the size of the organization. Since then, we're now over $1 billion. Some of you might have worked with credit unions in the past, others have not, so I'd like to take a minute and talk about why credit unions are different. We're not a bank. We do not have shareholders that we're trying to please. We don't have a stock price like banks do. Credit unions are actually member-owned, which means you as employees as well as all our members are stockholders. And so how we pay back or how we give to our members is we do it with higher deposits, lower loan rates, lower fees, and then services. You'll find that we provide many services such as financial literacy at no cost to our members as well as non-members. So that's one key point of credit unions is they are member-owned, and you as a member will vote for and select the board of directors who actually I report to that is responsible for driving some of the strategy and policies of the organization. The second part of that is that credit unions are not-for-profit. Their whole existence when the Credit Union Act was signed was to provide a means whereby individuals have access to provident credit that they need to help them grow and develop. And so when we, as we service our members, we're here knowing that we have to have some type of profit to build our reserves and to build additional branches and to provide additional services, but we are not profit driven like other organizations are. So that's a second key point. The third key point is community involvement. Credit unions in general are much more involved in the community than other organizations. But I will tell you, FirstLight Federal Credit Union is more involved in our communities that we serve than any other financial institution that I'm aware of. And that comes from being one part of our vision, but two, the commitment that management and staff have in giving back to the community, as well as our board. Our board was very receptive as we discussed this opportunity to move forward in giving back to the community. And so I would challenge you to go in the community and listen for FirstLight, listen to the impact that FirstLight has on the community. One is our core purpose is the FirstLight Federal Credit Union is to improve lives and achieve dreams. And that statement is important to us because it means something different to every individual. In El Paso and Las Cruces, you'll find that there's many families that their first generation of going to college is right now, even though they've lived here for 2 or 3 generations. That could be their dream. Could be a house, could be their first car, could be retirement. So our role as employees of FirstLight Federal Credit Union is to understand what those needs of our members are. And when I say members, I'm talking about members and employees because we're all members. So once we understand what their needs are, then we need to provide solutions for them. And that's why when we start looking at the experience we want our members to have, that's why it's a strong focal point. One of the things about our culture that is important is it's all about the member experience. We call it ME squared. So it's member experience to a different level. And that member experience is not just when our member comes to a branch, it's when they talk to an employee over the phone, it's when they access their account through the internet, it's when they apply for a job. Hopefully the experience you had as you applied for a job at FirstLight was a good experience. That whole interaction with the credit union, no matter if it's electronic, face-to-face, over the phone, we want that experience to be a wow experience, an exceptional experience. And the only way to do that is to make sure that our employees have the tools that they need to provide that experience. Now, I've talked about the experience with the member, but that same experience has to happen internally between employees. And so that's important to us. And so when I talk about culture, that's kind of what I'm talking about is overall that member experience and how we treat each other, how we treat our members, how we treat other employees, how managers treat other staff. That is important to FirstLight and will continue to be important to FirstLight as we move forward and grow. So I just want to take the time to welcome you to FirstLight Federal Credit Union. We appreciate you here. We're glad you chose to be with FirstLight. And I hope it will be a journey much like mine was and mine is, because it's been a fun journey. And as was mentioned earlier, one of the reasons I've stayed with the credit union so long is because our members and because the employees that we have. And I see this as a family. We spend a lot of hours each day together, but I truly see us working together as a team to achieve what our goals and strategies are and to achieve that level of member experience. You will see me in the organization. I don't always stay in my office. You'll see me out at the branches and out at the other areas. It's because I care about our members and I care about our employees. So thank you very much for joining FirstLight. I hope you have a wonderful experience with us and an exceptional ME2 or ME2 experience. Thank you.